What is up, Steve here? I hope you are doing well. I hope you had a fabulous 4th of July weekend with your family and friends. And I want to talk about an article, but also I want to talk about some of my experience over this past week in terms of one of the largest holidays that people get together and gathering. So I have some family in town and some friends in town. We decided to take them out to the north side of Fort Myers Beach. It's called Times Square. And we went out to the pier out there, and sure enough, the beach is packed. And as we drive from Bonita Beach to Fort Myers Beach, all along the side of the roads out there, there's just massive amounts of cars. So a lot of people are out on the beaches and they're enjoying things. But the one thing that I noticed, and it was pretty clear, was the amount of, or lack of amount of people inside of shops and restaurants. So my observation on this, where we ate was, nice place, and there was a lot of open tables. The bar was filled up with people, but a ton of open tables, and there were some people coming up by boat and everything else, but it was slow. And as we were walking down, I'm looking into other restaurants, and they're pretty much dead. And then we had some friends of ours, they want to do some shopping, so we're inside of some of these shops, and they're really, at any given time, in terms of customers in some of these large beach shops, I would say besides us in there, you're talking maybe 3 to 6 people. So it was really dead, unlike other times that we've been there, even outside of off season, outside of any kind of holiday weekend. So I think we're seeing, contraction with people right now. Of course, people are getting out to the beaches, and many times it's very cost effective to go out to the beach, post up. A lot of times you have to pay for parking, and if you are strategic about it, you don't have to pay for parking. And people are packing, stuff to cook out, or sandwiches and coolers with drinks and everything. So I think that we're really starting to see the impact of inflation and soaring gas prices, and we're definitely seeing it in restaurants and shops and everything else, which is starting to have an effect on a lot of places being in business. It's recent that the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, the GDP tracker, now predicts second quarter GDP will decline by 2.1%. I don't know about you guys, but it's like a meteorologist in the state of Florida where they're like, you got a 50% chance of rain and maybe 50% chance of it not raining. It's like they just throw these numbers out, and yeah, I guess it's backed by some data, but what was it? They said June prediction, second quarter GDP would increase by 0.3%. So now they're talking about a decline of 2.1% instead of an increase of 0.3%. And basically, first quarter GDP was down by 1.6%. So theoretically, 2 down GDP reports will consider us to be in a recession. Now, I think personally, based on my observations of what's going on, I think we're going to see an extended period of time in a recessionary period of time. I think that it's going to take a lot to bounce back from the monetary policies that were implemented by the Fed and the government. I'm starting to see it in real estate in a few different ways here in Southwest Florida. For one thing, I talk to a good amount of real estate agents on a regular basis here in Southwest Florida, and they are scared. There's real estate agents that are newer to the industry, and they really don't know how to pivot. They don't know how to really change their business structure in terms of selling real estate. Right now, if you're a real estate agent, you should primarily be going after listings and get as many listings under your belt as possible. And real estate agents should be working on sellers for price reductions if they're sitting on market for a while and not selling, and lack of showings. But talking to even mortgage brokers as well, obviously we know that there's a ton of layoffs going on in the mortgage related industry. And then real estate agents, they're commission based, so a lot of these real estate agents, they're just going to filter out. And I did another video on my prediction of probably over 400,000 real estate agents will go out of business in this downturn. So we're seeing that happen right now. We're seeing an astronomical amount of price reductions in our local market as well. Outside of real estate, we're seeing repossessions go up. People are handing over the keys for vehicles, RVs. The luxury items are the first to go, and we're starting to see that. I follow a couple of YouTubers who come out with analysis on that on a national level, and it's interesting because you had a lot of stimulus come into the market, and people thought that they could afford these cars, these vehicles, and everything felt good, and they thought the checks would never run out, and sure enough, they are running out and running out of money, which is another thing. Is people's savings accounts are dwindling, and a lot of people's credit card debt is increasing as well. So we're seeing a lot of I'd say negativity for the consumer, unfortunately. And if they're not prepared, it's unfortunate. But the thing is, for us, for you guys who are watching this, it's going to lead to opportunities, and there's going to be a ton of opportunities. So even luxury items in real estate, so people's second homes, vacation homes, they're starting to come onto market. So I think we're going to see the Fed continually increase the Fed rate. That's going to have a negative effect on short-term rates. The quantitative tightening, I think, is going to continue to happen as well. And that will have some effect on longer term rates. Mortgage rates will probably continue to go up as well. And all these things are basically just playing catch up with the Fed and how they have conducted their monetary policy, which has led to just high inflation. And unfortunately, with all the turmoil going on with Russia and Ukraine, we are seeing gas prices are maybe short term going to go down, but long term, if the administration is going to continue what they're doing and not figure out how to go after some of our energy resources, then we might be stuck in this. Let me just put it this way: everything that we touch has some sort of relationship to energy, primarily fuel. So it doesn't matter if it's vegetables, food, anything that you're buying, whatever you're doing, it has some sort of relationship to fuel. And if fuel costs remain high, everything is going to remain high. So I think that the Fed is going to have a hard time combating inflation if we do not figure out ways to keep fuel costs lower. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. See you.